Israel is our ally, the only
Supposedly.
ally in
The Middle
over
East.
there in that world,
Yeah.
right?
Supposedly they're our greatest ally,
right.
but there's a lot of behavior that's happened from them that would suggest not very ally behavior.
They don't like us?
No, they don't.
They don't like us?
No, I don't. No, they don't.
But they...
That's the truth.
Really?
I know that's going to offend a lot of people because you have a conservative audience who, again, is caught in this paradigm.
Right.
They don't. All you have to do is look up the USS Liberty that happened, I think it was like 1965, where Israel bombed an American ship. The idea was they were going to finish it off, kill every American on board, and no one would know about it. Israel was planning to set up a false flag to attack an American ship and make it look like Egypt did it so that America could go into the war with Egypt.
Amazing.
So there's all this stuff that people don't know about that gets shut out.
You know I love Israel, right?
I do know. I'm gonna change.
love the Jews.
I'm gonna change your mind.
And do you love the Jews?
I don't love anyone. I'm good.
What a mess. And so what I noticed, though, now, not though, but now, there are white people who are blaming the Jews for their failure.
Yes.
They can't make it because the Jews control everything. They can't make it because of this. And I tell those white people they should not be blaming like that. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with issues if you want to disagree, but to blame, they're going to end up in the same ditch that the blacks are in, because they're now blaming someone else for their lack of. What do you think about that?
So, if you know anything about me, I'm very critical about Jewish supremacy because I do think there is a very potent Jewish supremacist force in America. And if you don't believe this, all you have to do is look at our foreign policy with Israel, right? Like, you see, this is where they put a divide and conquer kind of thing, right? If you're a leftist, you know, you fall into certain categories, supposed to be pro every other race.
Right.
And those guys can criticize Israel because they're a white colonial power, right? Or whatever. If you're on the right, you could be all anti the races and all this stuff, but you got to be pro-Israel. And if you somehow are mixed between those, you're without a home because they need this warring thing going on.
Right.
But when every single Republican starts talking about how we have to support Israel and we have to send tons of money to Israel when our own country is falling apart. I mean, you drive around these roads in California.
A mess.
I thought we were paying taxes so we can have roads. What people don't realize is the federal government gives, I think something like $300 billion of tax dollars to Israel. But it's not just the federal government. Every state gives a portion of its taxes to Israel. Not just every state, Jesse, every city. So recently, the city of San Marcos did an audit, and they saw that they were giving, San Marcos, very small city in Texas, saw that they were giving $4.4 million tax dollars of their residents' tax dollars to Israel. And they were like, well, wait a second, our residents don't have health care. Our roads are falling apart. We'd like to take this money and repair our roads. Well, Governor Abbott, who's supposed to be a Republican, supposed to be pro-America, said, this is anti-Semitic. They didn't say anything anti-Semitic. They just said, we want to repair our roads. We don't want to give it to a foreign government, which seems like any national country would have that agenda, right? And he said, you're going to be defunded for these other programs that you get from the state. So tell me how that would make sense. Do we do that with any other government?
Well, we should take care of home first all the time.
All
anyway.
the time. But if you say that, you're called anti-Semitic because to me, it's the same thing as when you say, hey, black people, you should take responsibility for your life. You're called racist. If you tell women, hey, men are not your enemy and you would probably be happier taking care of your kids, they're like, you're a misogynist.
Right.
If you say, hey, gay people really shouldn't be married or put on the forefront of covers, they call you homophobic. Yeah. So these are all attacks meant to shut down intelligent conversation.
Absolutely. That's true.
So I don't think white people should sit around and cry about how the Jews have ruined everything because, once again, that's a very disempowering take. And then what are you going to do about it? So I'll say the same thing to them. Okay, let's say you're right. And there's a lot that they're right about. The Jews have taken over your institutions. They're pushing for a pro-Israel stance over pro-America. There's a lot of your funding that's been taken from you. Now what? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Because sitting there and crying isn't going to change anything.
I say the same thing. I'm like, okay, let's assume that you're right, as you just said. What happened that you allowed that to happen? That you would let someone else come into your country and take over like that, the first thing. And why not do something about it rather than just complaining about it? It's okay to see the problem, but why not get up and do something about it rather than, oh, I can't make it? Because in reality, real reality, no one can hold you back in life but you. As an adult, you are in control of your own life. Well, most people are not, but they're supposed to be. But I want to know, Israel is our ally, the only ally in
the Middle East.
Over there in that world, right?
Supposedly they're our greatest ally, but there's a lot of behavior that's happened from them that would suggest not very ally behavior.
They don't like us?
No, they don't.
They don't like us?
No, I don't. No, they don't.
But
that's the truth.
Really?
I know that's going to offend a lot of people because you have a conservative audience who, again, is caught in this paradigm.
Right.
They don't. All you have to do is look up the USS Liberty that happened, I think it was like 1965, where Israel bombed an American ship that they knew was an American ship. It was verified that they knew it was an American ship. They saw the American flag. And after they bombed it, they called in and said, oh, I think it's American or whatever. And they told them, the dispatcher told them, okay, just leave something for our torpedoes to finish. The idea was they were going to finish it off, kill every American on board, and no one would know about it because the American ship had been collecting intelligence information, and they had collected accidentally, they weren't trying to spy on Israel because they thought it was their ally, but they had collected information that Israel was planning to set up a false flag to attack an American ship and make it look like Egypt did it so that America could go into the war with Egypt.
Amazing.
So there's all this stuff that people don't know about that gets shut out.
And there's so much I want to talk to you about because of time and the farm we'll get to, but I want to ask, you know I love Israel, right?
I do know. I'm gonna change.
The Jews.
I'm gonna change your mind.
I don't think there's.
I don't actually. By the way, I gotta just say because some people want to put me in a category.
Yeah.
I like a lot of Jews. I grew up in New York. I know a lot of really excellent, amazing Jewish people.
You have a Jew friend?
I have a lot of Jew friends.
Everyone got one.
But
you have a lot.
You can't, because I'm from New York. You can't hate a whole group of people because of what the government is doing of their nation.
Hey, Toma, I have a friend in Israel. Toma, be careful there, man. But let me ask, you're a Christian.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for Judaism, there would be no Christianity.
That's a whole deep discussion that I don't think you have time for.
What a mess! And so, and you're right. I wish I did, but I don't. But let me ask: yes or no? Do you agree with that?
No, I don't.
You don't.
No, I don't.
But if it was,
because I think we're talking about two different things. That's why.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When you say Judaism, you're talking about what exists today as the Jewish nation.
I'm talking about the religion, spiritual aspect of it.
Right. That's what you're referring to, that which exists today. My understanding of Judaism is a bit different. You know, if you're going to talk about pre-Christian Judaism,
right,
that's a different thing.
Oh, okay.
And it was broken apart because once the Second Temple was destroyed, those who were still Jews and hadn't accepted Christ scattered. And because when you didn't have a temple, you didn't have a religion as a Jew. You needed to do the sacrifice. Without the sacrifice, there was no religion. So the Jews scattered, and they reformed about 300 A.D. So this is about 300 years after Christianity, happens, and a lot of what formed is in reaction to Christianity.
Do you believe that the Christians are the real Jews?
Christians are the real Jews.
I have a friend who believes. That's what.
That's a difficult question, right? Because you're mixing up two different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But some people believe that.
If you want to say Israel, God's chosen people,
yes,
Israel, right? That is the church. Otherwise, why does the church exist?
But the Jews were and are God's chosen people, right?
that again, right? We're playing with two different words, right? Because
Okay.
I'm going to talk about it in one way, and you're going to we're going to understand something different. That's why I say that would be like a whole hour.
I'm gonna have to
conversation.
have you back just
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, I'd be happy to talk about it. But
And do you love the Jews?
I don't love anyone.
How about
I don't love the Jews. I don't love white people. I don't love blacks. I don't love because it's such a weird thing to say, right? How could you love some? I love my parents. I love my family. I love my fiance. I love a couple of friends that I have that I'm real close. I don't love some of the friends I have because they're fake and I know who they are. It's a very weird concept that we're supposed to like love. I don't think we can. I think as humans we're limited to loving first. I think really we have to work on loving first those within our. I think we have enough work trying to love our own family, your own even immediate family.
right?
Then imagine if you had to love all your extended relatives, right? And then their relatives. And now you want to just talk about whole random groups of people that I don't have any relation to? No, thanks. I'm good.
What a mess! But do you love hate?
Who? No, sorry, I just met you.
How about the anchor baby?
Definitely not. We're sending him back. No anchor babies.
God said, and it's true, that for us to love our enemies, even our enemy, love all. And if you don't love all, you love none.
That's a very difficult. It's just a difficult thing to get to. What does he mean by that?
Don't hate.
But yet he said you should hate evil, make war with evil, don't make peace with evil.
But when he was speaking of don't hate evil, to hate evil, it means don't identify with it. Because you become what you identify with.
Yeah.
And so when you hate evil, you become evil.
See, but this is why I don't want to love a Jew. I don't want to become a Jew.
You have more money.
That's true, actually. It's very anti-Semitic.
All my Jew friends are rich.
Doesn't that tell you something?
Amazing. So listen, I'm going to have you back on
I would love to. I love your show.
Okay.
It's so fun. You're going to get some hate calls, though. Or people are going to call and tell you that I'm an anti-Semite and a racist.
Well, that's fine. I don't care about that. I do love all people, though. I love my enemy and everyone. And we don't have to get into that, but I have no anger toward anyone, not even my enemy.
I don't know, man.
Love all people.
I don't know. I think hate can be a healthy anger and hate can be a healthy emotion against those who wish to destroy you and destroy those that you love.
Really?
I do think it's very important.
I gotta have you back. But so I got a text from my friend out of Israel, and he said, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm black and slow when it comes to this. He liked you? Right on. He liked you.
Oh, well, that's nice. I like him too now.
And he's a Jew.
You know what? I'm pro-Israel. What's up?
There you go.
That's it. That's how you can buy me. I'm a woman. You just tell me you like me. That's it.
That's all it
We'll
takes.
go to war for Israel. Fuck Iran. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear in here. Sorry about that.
No, we have children listening.
I'm sorry, children. Apologies, children. You're going to have to learn these words one day when you go to New York.
So I want to ask, just, I don't want to get into, I'm going to have you back for it, but of all the countries in the rest of the world over that way,
Yeah.
who would you prefer we support other than, if not Israel?
I would prefer we support America.
Nobody over there?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think let the people solve their own problems over there. We're not, first of all, our own country has been totally hollowed out. We're completely falling apart. We do not have the resources to fix anyone in the world. And I think that that's the same ideology that we have. Like, when somebody goes out and tries to fix other people, but their own family's falling apart, you're like, charity starts at home. Start there. Let them work out their problems. Because if you don't have,
at home, yeah.
if you don't have America warring up Iran with Israel with a bunch of weapons and money, they're going to find a way to peacefully resolve their dispute with Iran because they don't want to lose their citizens' lives and their, well-being. But if you think about it like if you just have daddy's, credit card, you're going to run it up. But if you got to pay your own bills, otherwise
Yeah.
you're going to get on the street, you're going to be a little bit more conscientious.
Nice. I want to get into that, but I can't.
No,
Time
we
won't
can't.
allow.
It's a lot. It's a long thing.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So I definitely have you back for that. I love Israel. You ever gone to Israel?
And no, but if anybody wants to buy me a trip, I will come back and support your country.
You got to go.
No, I don't.
No, you have to go.
I would get attacked after everything I
Especially being
said.
a Christian.
I would love to go to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
You got to walk through the Bible in Israel. It is, if I were God, in order to, if you want to go to heaven, you would have had to go to Israel first. If you come up to the pearly white gates and you ring the bell, they're going to see if your name is on the list to get in. and they got the first and the only question, not if you're saved or born again, did you go to Israel?
Yeah.
If you say no, you got to go to the other way.
You got to go the other way.
Yeah.
Well, what if you say no and then God's like, all right, here's an all expenses paid trip.
Back to
and then
Israel,
come back.
That's different. No, you go to Israel first. But
did you pray at the wall?
I did.
But why would you do that? You're a Christian.
I love the Jews.
But the wall isn't a Christian thing. First of all, that's a wall that's left over from a Roman thing. It's not even part of the temple.
Well,
which is
in all
hilarious.
honesty, the wall is just a wall.
I know.
It wasn't. I just did it because I love Israel.
Don't do it, Jesse. That's how the devil gets you.
What, to love Israel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
You're supposed to love
it's
the
too
church.
Late. It's embedded in me. What?
Well, hey, why do you have your friend in Israel pay for one of my trips, and then when I come back and I'm pro-Israel, I'm going to lose all my fans?
I just been offered another trip to Israel, all paid.
All expenses paid, huh?
And I was going to go, but the war started. And so after the war is over, I'm going back.
Well,
And
if it's still there.
Team. It's going to be there. Don't mess with Israel.
No, you mean
don't mess with Israel.
Don't mess with America is what you mean.
And Israel.
Well, Israel doesn't have anything without America.
What do you think about the people coming here and they chant Allah Uaba?
Get out.
I mean,
get out. Just because I don't want to support Israel doesn't mean I want a bunch of Muslims coming in here and doing Sharia law.
I know.
I want them all out.
Amazing. You're going to Israel. When you come back, you're going to be a different person.
Yeah, I know.
You're going to love everybody.
No,
even your enemy. You will love all.
I don't know about that.
That doesn't mean you're going to agree with all, but you will love all.
I'm still working on loving my own family. So
Yeah.
let's